You're listening to Stories Behind the Songs with Chris Blair. For more information, check out chrisblair.com. This week, I'm so excited. Number one, we're here in the new podcast room. We're really excited about that. And today's guest is a 2-time Grammy Award winner, a 5-time Grammy nominated singer-songwriter. She's got over 25 billion global streams, 8 top 10 singles with iconic songs like Bubbly, Realize, and Try. Colbie Caillat in the house. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for coming in.
Yes.
We've had the honor of having you play multiple times at the listening room, and it's just been a fan for a long time. So I'm just really glad to get to sit down with you.
I know. I'm happy to be here and chat. I've always loved my experiences at the listening room. It's just always like a fun family, night. Everyone's friends, and we get to tell stories, and it's really nice.
Yeah. Well, let's just dive in. I always kind of like to start from the beginning. So, take us back to childhood, and when did you realize that music is what you wanted to do?
I've been singing since I was a kid. It felt good. Like I would drive my family insane just singing at the top of my lungs every morning. And my parents were in the music industry, and so once they could tell that I could kind of sing and that it was something that I was really passionate about, they kept giving me the tools that I needed to maybe pursue it so I could have a stronger, availability with that. And so they put me in vocal lessons when I was younger, and my dad was like, honey, like I know you love singing, but you should be a songwriter as well. It's going to be more meaningful. And so you should learn how to play an instrument. And then he taught me about song structure, and, I'm so grateful I had them to give me that advice early on, and the support and like the knowledge of the industry. So I think I always just had it in me that I loved it, but I think the songwriting aspect really made me love it.
Yeah. Who were some of your biggest influences early on?
Lauryn Hill was my favorite. I just loved her Miseducation of Lauryn Hill record. Her singing His Eyes on the Sparrow in oh my God, why am I forgetting the movie? Do you know what movie I'm talking about?
His Eyes on the Sparrow.
Why am I forgetting? Well, it'll come to me. She was I loved her voice and how effortless it felt and soulful.
Yeah.
Bob Marley, growing up like with that kind of music, Fleetwood Mac, it was all very acoustic and happy and positive. And so that combination is something that I felt was embedded in me.
Yeah. So you kind of dove into songwriting first. And I've heard you talk about song champions. Tell me about like who some of the mentors were. So you talked about the influences. Could be the same, but were there other mentors that were song champions to you?
I mean, those are all on there. I'd say John Mayer was a huge one. I loved his writing style. His lyrics were brilliant, and the songs, the music, it was effortless. And there was just something very calming, and it just felt very relatable. And then I got to tour with him eventually and got to, ask him advice on songwriting and being in the studio. And so I think all of those people, and watching how they built their careers and songwriting and their just honesty with what they write about, that was very important for me to learn.
Yeah, I love that. How was that like being out on the road with him?
It was so crazy. I mean, at that point in my career, I felt like anything that I was wanting to do, it happened. It doesn't always happen that way. And it was a window of time where it just worked out that way. And I was obviously a huge fan of his. And it was 2009. I got to go on tour with him that summer, and it was surreal. I really couldn't believe it.
Yeah, you were one of the early artists to really get a breakthrough on MySpace, which is, I have so many friends that started their career like that, and I think it's awesome. It was kind of like the first time that we saw social media making breaks for people. What were those early days like? And I guess, like, how do you compare that to TikTok, Instagram, socials today?
Well, I think the best part about MySpace, and with all of the other social media outlets now that are helping artists get found, or whatever it may be found, it's chosen by the fans and by the people, and I think that was what made it so meaningful for me, because I don't know, you never know what would have happened, but I think the way I was and the music I was releasing at that time, it wasn't necessarily what was on the radio, and so I don't know if a label would have heard it and wanted to, make it a big thing. I think that because the fans were listening to it, it was like they had to go with it. And so that's why I got a record deal and we went with Bubbly, and it really helped choose my path. So it feels nice when I see people at my shows and they've been listening since the very beginning.
Yeah.
It's just, it's awesome. And so it still happens for people to this day,
Yeah. You talked about Bubbly. That was such a defining song for you. Mm-hmm. Do you remember the moment where you realized that song had changed your life?
Yeah, well, when MySpace, everyone was adding the song to their page, and I started getting this insane amount of followers, and then it actually started getting played on the radio, I think in like the Northwest, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And then the fact that everyone started knowing about the song and it started getting on the radio and I would hear it anywhere that I went, like that was something that it was just bizarre. Like I couldn't believe how fast it happened and the way that it happened. Just I wasn't prepared for it at all.
Yeah. You talked about how songwriting was so important to you. I want to go back to some of the earlier hits, Realize, Try. Do any of those carry a different meaning to you now compared to when you first wrote them?
Yeah. It's so great. When I sing my old songs now, they have new meanings for whatever I'm going through, whether it be a new love or a breakup or something my friends or family are going through. And if it's weighing on me at that moment, then I'll think about it during the song. And I completely forget what I wrote it about originally, and Try, that really transformed how I perform on stage. I think so much of the beginning of my career, I had stage fright and I was so inexperienced with it. And I was at the time I was taught to hide that. I was taught to try to be extroverted and don't let anyone know that you're nervous. And it just felt like it was this big secret I was having to keep. And it made it actually even harder to perform. And once I wrote Try and I started just talking to my audience and my fans about it, and I was like, I'm nervous and I have insecurities and I am an introvert. And I just was like, oh, I'm actually not embarrassed. I feel more freed by it. And then they felt like they understood me and they felt seen. And it just really, now I just tell the audience everything on stage. It feels so nice.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Gosh, I wonder how many people you've touched by like just being open and honest like that. Because we know so many people in the industry, and there's so many of those that when they walk out on stage, you would not think that they're an introvert.
Yeah.
They're putting on the show and all of that. But then when you're back in the green room or just hanging out, like you realize that they, no pun intended, but stay in their bubble, right? Like I think like the fact that you were so open, like did anybody ever reach out to you and just say like, thank you for making me feel better
I would get that all the time with Try. Everyone would say not only how much the song meant to them because it helped them feel like whatever their flaws were or the things that they were so worried about or insecure about, they felt like they were understood, and that, it just reminds us all, no matter who we are, male or female, whatever age, we all have different things that we struggle with or that we're worried about and we try to hide or alter. And when you hear someone be vulnerable and share whatever it is that they're insecure about, or if they're having a bad day or going through heartbreak, whatever it may be, you're like, oh, you have that too. Like, I'm not the only one. For some reason, we all think we're the only ones that experience any of those feelings. And so it relates to us all, it connects us all, and it's very comforting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool. Let's talk about collaborations. You've had some amazing industry moments. You've gotten to collaborate with amazing friends and artists. Taylor Swift, Jason Mraz, Brad Paisley early on, lately that we're going to get into, Tenpenny, Walker Hayes, Marin. Is there a collaboration story to you that when you look back on it still feels so surreal?
I mean, all of them, because you usually start out as a fan of these people.
Yeah.
And with Jason Mraz, I was a huge fan of his music for so many years before I even had my career started. And just to be able to get a call from Jason and say he wants to write a song with me and have a duet together. And even Common, I have a song with Common. I was a huge fan of his. I loved his music so much. And it's just amazing to be on that same level. Like, you don't ever think you're going to be on the same level as them for some reason. It's like that imposter syndrome. And now with the duets, like having this song with Maren Morris, I love her voice so much. I think she's one of the best female vocalists ever. Mm-hmm. And the fact that she wanted to sing on my song, she actually chose the song that she wanted to sing on. And those kinds of things that I'm like, that really happened. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite memories of writing any kind of collaboration?
Ooh. Yes. Well, what's interesting about writing Lucky with Jason is that we weren't in the room writing it together. He had the idea started, he sent me the idea, and me and Tim Fagan were on the road together. I was touring and Tim was my guitar player on the road, and we were just sending these ideas back and forth to Jason over email, writing out the lyrics, sending some little audio recordings. And although it wasn't this experience writing in the room with Jason, it was a very cool thing to be able to write like that and to have that song come together. And it's kind of been the theme of our career together. We're always kind of apart when we're singing. It's really funny. Like when we shot the music video, when we won our Grammy, like we weren't together. So it's just this like ongoing thing that we're rarely, even when we just recorded this new version, he wasn't able to come to Nashville.
Really?
So it's really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you look for in a song when you're thinking about those collaborations?
Well, first is voice. I really love, I love when there's just a real good singer with the tone, their inflections, that's really important to me singers, you just love to get to sing with great singers. And then if we align with everything, like if our music styles, or even if we're on opposite spectrums, and it's going to sound like a cool combination. And then a lot of times there's like the friend factor where you by being in the industry or living in Nashville, like you're already friends with those people, and it makes it even more special to get to work with your friend. But then some of these collabs, like I became friends with the people after these artists, and now they're new friendships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You've got an awesome new project coming out that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But let's shift away from the collabs a little bit. And I want to talk about some of your earliest memories of touring, and how you balance that and the brutality of just the nonstop being on the road and keep your creativity.
Touring was so challenging for me. I was new to it. I just going from being home, like literally living at home, working at a tanning salon, to going and being on tour in a different city, a different country for 2 years straight. It was really, I had a really hard time with it. I had a stagecoach, I had a therapist, I had family and friends come out on the road. Like I had a lot of things to help me get through it, basically. And so, you're singing every night, your voice is getting tired, you're doing interviews, you're traveling, and all of this without any experience of it. And also trying to write for now your second record that the record label is like, itching to get. And so it was all just this really interesting learning experience. And, some days were good and some days were really, really hard and challenging. And now I've found a great balance with all of it. It's been so many years, but I don't tour as much.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say some of your like favorite memories are from the road?
Ooh, getting to do a tour with like opening for John Mayer, opening for Sheryl Crow, doing co-headline with like Gavin DeGraw or Christina Perri. It's so fun to get to share that experience with another artist, and you're gaining new fans, you're sharing fans, you're getting to, collab on stage together. And also, I think when it's my own tour, I love my band and I love my crew, but I can tend to get, introverted. I get a little hermity and I get a little depressed on the road, and having that side of it to share with the other artists and a bigger group of people, it just feels like a big family unit. And so I really enjoy that kind of touring. That's my favorite.
Yeah. What about the Grand Ole Opry? Let's talk about that.
Ooh, that was cool.
That is such an iconic stage.
Yeah.
You had your debut with Gone West. What did that feel like?
Well, I was nervous, of course. It was a new song. We were a new band. And, I didn't know about the Opry for most of my life until I moved out here and I learned how special it was.
Yeah.
And once I got out there, it sounds, well, first of all, they're the sweetest team of people. Like from the second you pull up and you have your own parking space that you get to keep the whole thing, and your own dressing room, and they're so kind to you. And I think I was so used to even like doing TV performances, they're rushing you. They're not that kind. Like they kind of just treat you like in and out. And so it was a really pleasant surprise to go show up at the Opry and them just be so wonderful. And you get to take your time and you get to sound check. And the audience is there. They're so excited to be there and listen to the stories and hear the music. So the whole experience of it is truly just enjoyable. Yeah. So that was something I was like, oh, this can be fun. This can be nice. So that was cool.
My wife's uncle has been the stage manager at the Opry for like over 30 years.
Oh, wow. And I've met him.
Yeah, he's, it's fun, but yeah, that's, I think like the first couple times that, I go, like just how you can just feel like you're a part of the family from the moment you walk in the door.
Yeah.
And so
from behind stage to the audience, like truly, because sometimes when you play a show or a festival or even a private event, you're like, do they know my music? Are they going to be happy I'm here? And everyone in the audience is just so happy to be there and hear. It's like quiet, like you could hear a pin drop. They're listening to everything. So all around, you just feel supported.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about September 26th.
Yes.
You have your new album coming out this time around. And I cannot wait. When this episode comes out, it's going to be maybe like a week and a half till then. What inspired you to reimagine all of those songs and do all these collaborations?
I've been wanting to reimagine my old singles for so many years. It's probably been like 6 or 7 years that I've been thinking about doing it. When I wrote and when I recorded all those songs, I was so young. I was in my early 20s. I feel like I sound like a baby, and there's just lots of things that after now singing these songs for almost 20 years and maturing vocally and everything, I really and production style, like my style has evolved over the years, and so I really wanted to make a updated version of them. And it was a progressive thing that we made it be a duet album. Like it was really just going to be a couple duets, and then it turned into every song being a duet, which I will actually have solo versions of these at some point too. But having the duets is just a special, it brings a whole other side, a whole other perspective to the songs. And like I said, I love sharing the stage. I love sharing the room and getting to sing with other great vocalists and great artists. And so it just kind of evolved into that.
Yeah. Let's talk about Fallen for You with Maren Morris. How did that collaboration come about?
So I've met her in the past. My producer, Jimmy Robbins, he's worked with her for so many years. And
he's amazing.
Yeah, he's amazing. Jimmy and Eric Argis, they produced this record. And when we were brainstorming of people, I was like, well, I mean, I would love Maren, but like she probably can't, or maybe she won't. And they were like, oh, we'll ask her. And she said yes. And I was thinking that she was going to sing on a different song. Like that was what for some reason, I didn't think of her for Fallen for You. And when she said yes, she said, but can I sing on Fallen for You? And I was like, oh, that, of course. Like the fact that you have a song in mind that you want to sing, it made it so great. And she came in so prepared. She had this great idea for the bridge. Her vocals were spectacular. Her tone of voice is beautiful. And it was just so great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She is so good. Where was this? I was at City Winery. Gosh, this was years ago, but when she did her album release party, it was like an industry thing. It was like her album release party. And Charles Kelly was there, and a couple other people. But yeah, she came out. That was the first time that I heard her.
It's
and
unreal.
was just like, what? Who is this?
The power, the tone, everything about it. She's a phenomenal artist.
Yeah. You mentioned her earlier. You also have artists like Hillary Scott, Chris Young, Walker Hayes. How did you figure out who was going to sing on one? Did everybody come to the table like Marin and say, hey, I want to do this song? Or
some of them. So yeah, with Hillary Scott, she wanted to sing on Try. I asked her first, I was like, I'm doing this reimagined album and I'm making it duets and I would love for you to sing on one. And she's like, oh my gosh, my daughter and I sing Try all the time. I was like, do you want to sing that song? And so that was really cool because again, when it's meaningful to them, and she also came in prepared. She had this beautiful idea for the bridge. The original of Try has no harmonies on it, and now it's like a full harmony song. And Hillary also has one of my favorite female voices. It's so soft and sweet, and her tone is just beautiful, and she's like the most genuine heart. We've been friends for most of my career.
Yeah.
And then Walker Hayes, I thought he would be great for Brighter Than the Sun because, his energy, and he comes into the studio and he's just so fun. He's such a great dude, such a great guy. Yes. I love that, like how he prioritizes his family, and I loved him. Like we became great friends, and so he's like a hype man for that song.
Yeah.
The rest of the songs, I think I had to brainstorm a bit and see who was able to. Some people weren't available because of their music coming out or whatever it was. And Amos Lee is another one that I'm really excited about because I've loved his music forever. He's one that I'm like, I listen to his playlists on, you just ask for, that's all I listen to. And so the fact that he sang, and he had another great thing on the bridge. I swear all these artists came so prepared. It meant a lot, and they added their own personal touch to every song.
Yeah. I hope you realize that they I'm sure every single one of them, like you talked about, like with Marin, for example, like, well, I don't know if she can do it. She probably can't, like whatever. I bet you every single one of them was like, I am being asked by Colbie to be a part of this. And it's gotta be such an honor for them. Yeah.
Well, they say those nice things as well. And I know Mitchell Tenpenny, actually, he was so cute because when I asked him to sing on Realize, he's like, that's my favorite song. I sang it in high school. Like I know every harmony. I know every, he added, oh my God, that version is my favorite version now. I just love his voice. And, for him to be able to tell me that he's been listening since high school, he would just blast it and jam to it in his car. Like it was really cool. It's really cute.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You've reimagined all of these songs, but then you've also added 3 new songs. Mm-hmm. Talk about those a little bit.
Yeah, so I got to write with Lee Bryce. We wrote a song called Kinda Single, and another song, Live Without, that Maddie and Tay are on. And I wrote that with Jimmy Robbins, Eric Argis, and Liz Rose, who Liz is my favorite person to write with because she just feels like my therapist, and I feel like I can tell her anything and she gets it. Even times where she's like, honey, let's write. I'm like, I don't know. I don't have anything to write about. She's like, there's always something to say. There's always something. She'll just pull it out of me. And Live Without was a great song because, over the last few years, I've gone through one of those on and off again relationships that can kind of drive you crazy. And when you're out of it, you feel like the world's ending. Like everything reminds you of them. You don't see how you're ever going to recover. And then at one point you do, and you feel like, I'm not reminded of them constantly, and I'm happy about life, and I'm hopeful for things in the future. And that's what we wrote Live Without about. It's just like this freeing moment that you're happy to be on your own again.
Yeah.
And then Can't Say No with Ryan Hurd. He's just so great. He's an incredible vocalist. We got to write that song with Jimmy and Eric as well. And it's a relatable sentiment where, either one person or the other from the relationship always reaches out again to rekindle in some way that we can fall into that trap
Yeah.
easily.
When you like with those songs or other songs, what's your writing style? Are you more lyrics? Do you have the ideas, vocals, all of it?
It's different for every song is different. Like when I walked into the room with Lee Bryce, I got there a little bit after them, and they had been talking. Lee's like, "All right, Jimmy, like, what's up with Colbie? Is she married? Is she single? What are we going to be writing about today?" And Jimmy's like, "Well, I think she's kind of single." And there, he was like, "Oh my God, we have to write a song about that." So like that's how that song sparked. Can't Say No with Ryan. I think it's just something that we were all in the room talking about that back and forth that you can get pulled back in relationships. And with Live Without, that was something that I was just like, I have to write about this feeling of it finally feels so freeing. So, and then usually I'm more of a melody person. I'll write lyrics, but they take longer for me. Yeah. And I tend to always love that my writing partners, like Jimmy Robbins, he's an incredible lyricist. Jason Reeves, incredible lyricist. I'll be able to tell them something, and then they just put it in this really perfect little short sentence that sums it all up. So clever. So it's just a great teamwork.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah.
What are you most excited about when this album comes out?
Well, it's been a long process. Like it's been almost 2 years since we started it. Yeah. So it's like
that happens all the time. We have the fire station right behind us.
Okay.
Literally every single episode. We've even got to the point where there's episodes where like
you just roll
there's
through
the fire
it.
truck.
Yeah.
We just
hey, we have background music
every single time. Yeah.
What was I talking about?
What's the thing that you're most excited about? Yeah.
I'm excited for the songs to finally come out. I feel like I've been having to keep them quiet and keep them a secret for so long, and I'm excited to share them. I'm excited for people to hear these new versions and see what they think, and get to hopefully eventually play these songs with the duet partners at different shows, and playing in Nashville. Or we're trying to put together a show like that. We'll see. It's so hard with everyone's schedules, but that's also what I love about.
That would be insane.
It would be really cool. I mean, it might be impossible, but we're gonna figure it out. And I think that would be a really fun show to have just all the friends and all the collabs come out. So I'm excited for what this album will bring to the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You also have a tour coming up, a Christmas tour with Gavin DeGraw.
Yep.
Talk about that.
Gav is one of my best friends. We've been friends for most of my career, and he's like a brother. It's awesome. Like to be able to have that support system with each other as, mutual artists, getting to talk about the difficulties, the challenging times in the career, in the industry, and also the success of it, to get to share that. It's really nice. And he's singing I did a cover of Circles on this new album, and Gavin's singing on it. He has one of the best voices in the world, I'm pretty sure. Getting to hear him live, like when he's playing the piano in my living room, it's so incredible. Getting to tour with him is so much fun. So yeah, we're going to do a Christmas tour and going to be on stage together and sing all our songs and sing some Christmas songs. And we have really funny banter. We bicker a lot. It's comical. So it'll be a little fun tour.
Anybody that's listening, where can they go to find out more information about the tour?
You can go to my website, colbiecaillat.com, or Gavin's website. I think it's gavindegraw.com. And our social media outlets, that's how you can get tickets.
Cool.
Yeah.
I've had the listening room for 19 years now, which is absolutely insane. But some of my funnest memories, and I'm not just saying this, like literally some of my funnest memories have been nights where you and Gavin have jumped up on stage. Yeah, and just
that's sweet.
Like as you were talking about him playing the piano at your house, it's like I'm like being transported back to nights that turned into very long nights hanging out with Eric and all the guys afterwards. But it's just so fun. It's just you guys, you you can tell that you have been
Yeah.
so close for so long, and it's just amazing. I can't imagine what that tour is going to be like.
Oh, it's such a good community. I mean, as you know, living here and having artists constantly coming in for that many years, and everyone becomes friends, everyone wants to work together, and it's just spontaneous nights where you go up on stage and get to sing with friends and meet new people. It's like, those are some of my favorite experiences as well. So yeah, it's my favorite part of living in Nashville, and I've loved those opportunities, getting to go up and sing.
Yeah. I wanna throw a curveball at you. With this being Stories Behind the Songs and us championing songwriters so much, what would you say your favorite song is that you've written that nobody's heard?
My favorite song that I haven't released is actually the first song I ever wrote, and I plan on releasing it at some point. It's called Someday. I wrote it by myself after my first guitar lesson. I learned 4 chords, and it's just like a very simple, sweet song. I was 19 years old, and I'll release it at some point. But I always talk with other artists, like, what do you do with your songs you don't release? Because it feels like such a waste, like to never release them. So to put some of them out at a different point, or we'll give them to other artists at times. So that's another option too. But yes, it's called Someday.
That's amazing. And like a testament to how good of a songwriter that you are.
I think it comes and goes. Inspiration can come and go.
I think I was 14 when I wrote my first song.
Oh,
and
wow.
Nobody will ever hear it. It was horrible.
Yeah. I have some bad ones too. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
When it feels cool. Sometimes it's like, am I ever going to write a song again? Sometimes you just feel like it's gone, it's lost.
Yeah.
And then I think I just need it to build up, and then I'll have something to write about again, and it can be good.
Yeah, I love that. Let's talk a little bit just about, before we wrap up, just everything that's happened, going back early days from Coco to this time around. How do you see your growth as an artist and a songwriter from those early days?
I think I know myself a lot better now, as anyone does as they grow up and have more experiences. I think at Coco, there was such a special thing about that album because I was so young and it was so fresh. Recording and writing, it was all brand new. Those were the first songs that I ever wrote, and there's something really special about that. And then I think also as you mature and hone in on songwriting and life experience, you can possibly get better at it in a different way. Yeah. But it maybe doesn't have that youthfulness and that rawness that the first album has. So I think there's parts of me that looks back at the old stuff. I'm like, oh, I remember that girl, and she was lost and confused, but it was also so genuine and like raw. And now I listen to the stuff I do now, and I just feel like I've finally figured out how I want to do things, how I want to sing, how I want to produce these songs, and the instrumentation, and how I want to talk about what I'm going through in life.
Yeah.
So the contrast is, I think, it's a nice contrast.
Yeah, love that. What do you think some of the biggest things that you've learned are through your time on the road, and just the different steps that you've gone?
That it's okay to be yourself and talk about it. That was a huge thing that was freeing to learn and to live. Learning when to say no. That was always hard. It's always hard because you have to be able to grow and experience new things and branch out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
But there's also times where you have to know, like, no, that's not a right fit for me. You're being encouraged by all these different people around you that are on your team or influences, and you have to know if it's right for you or not. And I think that can be a huge challenge of knowing when to say no. So those are things. I think having a great team around you that you trust, that knows what they're doing, that also knows exactly what is right for you. It's not just like there's not just one sheet for every artist. And so I think the team that you have needs to be able to maneuver and make it unique to you and allow you to open up in that way. So those were all things that I wished I had known at the beginning, and you learn over time.
Yeah. Let's talk about that a little bit. I've had so many different types of guests on this podcast, from people who have just come to town to hit songwriters like Liz, other artists like Walker, and there's just there's always different answers, but a lot of our listeners we found are aspiring songwriters, newer to the game. What kind of advice would you give somebody now that's first coming to town of like how to build their camp, how to get started? Like what's the best thing that you think it is to do today?
Well, for me, I've had my manager since the very beginning of my career, and I've been so fortunate to have that, and for the first one to be a great one. He knew my family. He knew like the hometown I was from. Like we didn't live far from each other. He understood that I was different than a lot of other artists, where I didn't really have the same desire to be doing this. It's something that happened. I love to sing and I like to write, but I wasn't really wanting to be a known artist. And so he's always understood that, and he knew his background was in publishing, and so he helped me not make a poor decision on, publishing deals when I was first starting out, where I could have made huge mistakes. And it's hard because you don't know, and I was fortunate to have that, but to have one person on your team that can really help guide you into not making the wrong choices, to helping you grow, to being understanding of you as an artist. And then you slowly build your team, and whether it be, your business manager, your attorney, or your band members and your crew, because all of it is so important. Even on the road, like you have to have a great team of people that you enjoy being around. They're not one bad seed that ruins it for every day. So it all takes just learning, and experience. But I would say having your one person that you can really count on your team.
Yeah, such great advice.
Thank you.
I have one more question to wrap up, but before I get to that, is there anything else that is just new coming up, things that you're excited about, anything that you want to share that we haven't talked about?
I'll probably think of it after I leave, but no, I have a song with Walker Hayes that came out on his record called Adderall, but
such a good song.
Yeah, it's so fun. Yeah, it was fun. I'm glad he asked me to sing on that. No, just this tour and this album. Yeah. We're so excited about it. We will put links to all of your socials and to the album links and all of that in the liner notes of this. So everybody listening out there, go check that out, and make sure you go buy Colbie's music. Last question. You ready? I'm ready. Okay. If you can go back to 8-year-old Colbie, what kind of advice would you give yourself today? Ooh, that's a great question. Kind of along the same lines of what I've said today, but be comfortable being yourself, and let experiences guide you, but just trust yourself and have fun with it, and really embrace who you are, rather than trying to hide little things. I think embrace yourself. Yeah. I love it. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. You're wonderful. This was great. I loved it. Thanks. We always love having you, like I said earlier, and welcome back anytime. So thank you. Yeah, let's do a show soon. I will. I'll have to maybe hit the road and find you and Gavin out during Christmas too. It's on the West Coast, but that's okay. Okay, great. Come on out. It's an excuse to go get some nice weather. That's true. Yeah, get out of this cold Nashville weather in the winter. Yes, so it's pretty bad. Thanks again for being here. Yes, thanks for having me. And thank you everybody out there for listening or watching. This has been another episode of Stories Behind the Songs. You've been listening to Colbie Caillat, and I'm Chris Blair. We'll see you next time. This has been an episode of Stories Behind the Songs with Chris Blair. For more information after the show, head over to chrisblair.com. That's where you can find information on these episodes, trailer notes,
video links, all kinds of great stuff. Also, make sure to leave us a great rating on iTunes. Like and follow us on Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. I really hope that you think this show is awesome, and we really appreciate the love and support. I promise to keep gathering great content and continuing to sit down with more amazing songwriters and artists as we grow. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks for the support. We'll see you next time.